And I just want to say welcome again to everyone. We're so happy you're here. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see it? All right. So again, welcome. We're really happy that you're here. We're happy that you've decided to take on research, especially most of you are in the earlier stages of your college career. Super excited to have you here. And so to introduce ourselves, my name is Lauren Bernal. You've already received a few emails from me. I'm the RIO program coordinator. I've been with the Office of Undergraduate Research for actually just over 2 years now. I'd like to ask Allie to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie. I am a student assistant and also a RIO advisor, and I was in the RIO program last year. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever about what it means to be in RIO, what are your expectations, just come to me. It is one of the single most rewarding things that I've done in my life, and I'm sure it will be so great for all of you guys. So welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Ever Barraza. I'm the Assistant Director of the Office of Undergraduate Research. So one thing that I want to kind of say is that I want everyone here to kind of feel comfortable asking questions as you go along the program. We're here to support you. Research, this might be your first time doing research. And so we've all been there. And so we're here to guide you through the process. We've worked with students, teaching them how to do research for the past, 7, 8 years. So we know that, it might take a little bit of time to start getting, to really understand and articulate what you're doing. But, we'll provide different resources via workshops, via different templates. We'll send samples of how to write research reports and things like that. And just understand, like at first it might seem like a lot, but things will start settling down. You'll start getting into the groove of getting things done every week, checking in with your faculty mentors. So just make sure that you communicate when you feel lost, or you feel like, oh, I think I need a little bit more time to do, XYZ activity, and we'll most likely allow that flexibility. So communication is definitely key. But yeah, welcome to this community of research. So I'll pass it on to Dr. Winnie Dong for the welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm a faculty member in Chemical and Materials Engineering and also the faculty director of the Office of Undergraduate Research. It's so nice to have all of you here today. I really applaud you for taking the initiative and having the motivation to do something that is a little extra than what you need to do for your undergraduate career. You are really setting yourself up well for your future by doing undergraduate research. Different studies have shown that students have better outcomes when they do undergraduate research, have better outcomes at Cal Poly Pomona. You will have a better outcome in terms of looking for jobs. Your research experience will really help you find a good job. Or if you want to go to graduate school, definitely research will help you achieve that. And even afterwards, that your satisfaction with grad school or your job or pay, things like that, are generally higher if you've done undergraduate research. And I want to say that, for many of you, this will be your first time having done research. I know some of you have had probably lots of experience already, but for many of you, this is your first time. And I want you to just know that even though this is your first time with like official research project, this is not the first time you've done research. All of you have done research, right? When you looked on Yelp to find which restaurant to go to, that's research. It might not be in your discipline, it might not be that rigorous. You're not looking for primary sources in that case, but you're doing research. You're gathering information to help you answer a question that you have. And that's basically what research is. It's just gathering information to help you figure out how to answer a question that you have. So just remember that you all have the skills and the experience and the know-how of doing research. You've got that. The only thing that you're going to be learning is how to apply those skills into a disciplinary question as opposed to a general life question. And so, so keep that in mind. You could do this, you know how to do it, you're just applying it in a different realm.
Thank you, Dr. Dong. So now to go into the program overview. RIO is offered by the Office of Undergraduate Research, and we help to guide early career undergraduate students engaging in a research, scholarly, creative project. You've been paired with a faculty mentor. You'll work with them all year, and you'll present at the Research, Scholarship, and Creative Activities Conference in March. Student participants will receive financial support, workshops, and advisings from peers, staff, and faculty mentors. Students will work closely with faculty mentors on projects, write a full report by the academic year, and publish on Bronco ScholarWorks. And we'll be going through how to publish on Bronco ScholarWorks when we get closer to that time near the end of the year. And Dr. Dong again for a short message about faculty mentor, student mentee relationship.
So I think all of you have met your faculty mentor, and we will have a longer workshop tomorrow at 10 o'clock about how to have a productive mentor-mentee relationship. And so I think Lauren and Ever has already shared that information with you or will be sharing it with you shortly. It would be great if you could attend. If not, there is a pre-recorded session that is available on the OUR recorded workshop website. So you can find that and watch it anytime. But I would encourage you to attend the workshop tomorrow at 10 if you're available, because we will have a panel. So the first part will be just me talking, which you could see on the recorded workshop. But the second part will be a panel of students who have worked with their mentors, and they will be sharing their experiences or what worked for them, what happens when they have issues, problems, concerns with their mentors, how they resolved it. And so that, I think that part will not be recorded since these are students. We want to encourage them to talk very frankly about their experiences. So we're not recording them for that reason. So if you can, I would really encourage you to participate in the synchronous session. So I just want to say a few things. And one of them is, yes, like Devin asked, if you haven't met your mentor, absolutely introduce yourself. And the most important thing, two most important things about your mentor-mentee relationship is true for any relationship. So this is the same for like your parent-child relationship, your friend relationship, or even your like girlfriend or significant other relationship. You need to remember two things. It's having common expectations. Okay, so knowing what the other person expects of you and making sure that your mentor knows what you expect of them. So having common expectations is really, really important, because it would be terrible if your mentor expected you to email them every day with a little update, and your expectation is that your mentor is going to reach out to you whenever they need anything, right? And so if that wasn't clear to both of you, then you won't ever email them and you'll be disappointed because they never emailed you, and your mentor will be disappointed because you were not emailing them every day with your updates. And so making sure that there are clear expectations, and if you don't know what your mentor expects of you, the best way to do is ask, right? I would like to know. So, thank you so much for being my faculty research mentor. I really appreciate this opportunity. I just want to know what expectations you have of me when we work together. Would you like me to send you an update once a week? How would you like me to update you? How often can we meet? Should we be meeting once a week, twice a week, once every 2 weeks? It shouldn't go. You shouldn't go more than 2 weeks without meeting your mentor. So it should be at least once every other week. And then letting them know what you expect out of the experience. This is my first time. I'm really hoping to get a better sense of what research is. And I'm hoping to go to work at Northrop after I graduate. These are my hopes and expectations. And I don't know if this research will help me get there, explaining to them what goals you might have with respect to your research. Because if your faculty mentor might have a really good friend at Northrop, but they didn't know that you were interested in going there, so they never connected the dots. And once they know, they could set up a tour for you to visit their friend, etc. Maybe even structure your project so that it's kind of related to what Northrop is doing, and that will help you in terms of getting an internship or a job there later. The second part is really related to the first part, and that's communication. So it's not possible to have common expectations without good communication, right? You need to talk to each other and you need to listen. So when your mentor is talking to you and telling you what they expect or how to do something, make sure you're listening actively, right? And if you need to take notes, go ahead and take notes. And if you're unclear about anything, repeat it back to them. Thank you for that information. This is what I've heard. You would like for me to email you once a week on Fridays with a short blurb on what I've done that week. Is this correct? Right? I heard that you would like me to schedule the meetings with you and not to wait for you to schedule meetings with me. You know, just to confirm. And sometimes you can even put down your notes in a little email and send it to them saying, you know, thank you for the meeting today. Here are the list of things I've heard during our meeting, and just list the things that you think you heard. And then your mentor can say, oh, no, you misunderstood. I really want you to meet with me at 1 o'clock every Friday and not to email me for a different time every week, right? Something like that. So having common expectations and having good communication. And I know those sound really easy to do. They're not easy. I still struggle with them myself, just in terms of all my relationships. Is something that you have to continually work at, but is definitely worthwhile to make sure that you're doing that, and that will really make your research experience much richer and go more smoothly.
Thank you so much for that. So going into some of the research requirements we have for you, there'll be a preliminary lit review due with an abstract at the end of the winter intersession. So we'll talk more about that as time goes on. We'll ask you to submit an abstract for the RSCA conference by mid-January. Again, we'll have that final deadline for you a little bit later. Present your ongoing work at RSCA as a poster or an oral. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But also with that, if you haven't collected a lot of data at that point, please don't worry about it. You'll just present whatever you have. And that might just be pretty much your lit review, talking about some of the ways that you're going to collect the data. But if you don't have much, it's totally fine. And then your final research paper will be submitted to Bronco ScholarWorks, and that'll be at the end of the academic year. And some more program expectations. We ask that you attend 3 workshops in the fall. One of them will be tomorrow's faculty mentor student mentee relationship. Again, if you can't make it then, I know this is really last minute, we do have the recorded workshop from last year. You'll also be asked to go to the How to Write a Literature Review and Abstract workshop, and then narrowing the focus of your research project. We're going to have a Winter Institute during the winter break. We plan for that to be 2 days. One day will be focused on like cultural event activities, and the other day will focus more on preparing for the RSCA. And then in spring, we'll ask that you attend 4 workshops since it's a little bit of a longer time for spring. So that will be the Bronco ScholarWorks and Professional Research Presentations Workshop, Writing a Research Analysis, and Introduction to the Peer Review Process. And the 4th one is to be announced. Then also, we'll ask that you meet with your peer mentor twice in fall, 4 times in spring. That's to make sure that you develop a professional relationship with them. Sometimes you might meet with your peer mentor more often. Some like to check in a little bit more often, but you'll talk with your peer mentor and figure out how that'll go with your specific peer mentor. And then also we ask that you attend 2 cultural event activities per semester. Those, I'll be emailing you about that. I send out an email every Monday with things that you should know, things that are specific to your program. If you're an ASP or R grad, you've already seen my emails. You're just going to have RIO on there as well. And if you haven't seen my emails before, I'll explain exactly how those work.
So just to add, and before we move on, so essentially there are two expectations. There's going to be expectations from the program, from us, and there's going to be expectations also from your faculty mentor. So just make sure that you're staying on top of things, filling both expectations. It's good to communicate with your faculty mentor and let them know, like, hey, they're going to know this information, but sometimes we need to remind them, be like, hey, I need to attend X number of activities. And these will help support, my learning in terms of research, just so that both of you could be on the same page. So yeah, so there's expectations on both ends. And yeah, and then the date for the conference is March 4th and 5th. Thanks, Dr. Dong.
Thank you. So continuing the expectations, we also ask that you meet with an advisor once per semester. So that'll be once in fall or winter and once in spring. And the three of us here are available for advising. Here are Calendly's. I'll be sending out this PowerPoint to you so you have all the information, all of our links, etc. Sometime after the end of the orientation. I'll also send the link to the recording in case you missed anything, or if you'd just like to review something. And also when you sign up for a Calendly advising, please make sure to include which program or programs you'd like to talk about, because Ever and I can advise for all three programs. Ali mainly focuses on RIO. So then we'll know exactly what you'd like to talk about. So here's the timeline. Again, I'll be sending this out to you so you'll be able to look at it a little bit in more detail. But this is most of the expectations we have for you this year in order. And Ever?
All right. So in terms of how we keep track of everyone's participation is by you submitting proof of event attendance. So that we do this on a trust basis. So we trust that all of you will attend the different activities, either in person, virtual, hybrid, or asynchronous through a recorded workshop. But how you submit proof, Lauren, can you give me share screen access? All right. So essentially, under the RIO program page, so in the Office of Undergraduate Research, on the right navigation, you'll see that it says active students. So under the active students, you'll see again the requirements that we went over here. So just in case if you forget or you lose the email with the PowerPoint, they're always here in the website. So here you'll also find our advising links to sign up for advising. We welcome you to, even though we require one advising, we welcome you to come to as many as possible to build a relationship with us. If you need additional support, we do the minimum of one just to check in, but if you find them useful, we welcome you back for more advising. So the proof of event attendance is located there. And essentially, so this is something that we would want everyone to do for this orientation. So Lauren, or should I copy paste?
Yeah,
Let's see here.
works.
Okay, so if everyone could go on this, we're going to do a quick practice. But for today's orientation, we want everyone to submit proof. So you'll enter your information there, your Bronco ID, your email. You'll put that you're part of the RIO program for this. Some of you may be in multiple programs. So for future events, so workshops that you attend, they might count for all of these programs. So make sure you could click all of them that apply. So you could get credit and not have to duplicate the effort or even be overwhelmed with doing 4 workshops per program. So we do allow that overlap. And then for today's event, you would select program orientation, and then you could just write RIO orientation in the event, the date, today's date, and then a description. For today, you could just write orientation, but for future events, we do want you to describe key takeaways from the workshop, just to make sure that you are present, you're paying attention, and you're actually learning something from the workshop. It should be more than like about a sentence in length. So yeah, so this is how we keep track. We will be sending like mid-semester reminders on how far you are in terms of participation credit. So just letting you know, like, hey, you need to pick it up. You have one event, or you've completed all. Congratulations. You'll get that information from us. All right. And then for the funding, so everyone here will be funded $2,000, and it's split by term. And the way it works is that we do a check-in with your faculty mentor to make sure things are going well. And with their approval, we'll disperse the stipends at the end of the term. So as you're kind of progressing through your research, we'll check in with your faculty mentor towards the, right before finals week. And then you should be receiving your first $1,000 around the finals week. We try to make sure we get them before you're out on vacation. And that's how kind of it'll work for both terms. And we do have extensions as well. So say for whatever reason, things are going a bit slow, we can disperse them later. So that's not a problem, but we do want to make sure that everyone, is fulfilling some of these minimum criteria.
So before we go into our icebreaker, does anyone have any questions?
Did you want to go over the contacting faculty mentors now or after the icebreaker?
Sure, let's do it now.
So some of you have asked that about you not having had contact with your faculty mentors yet. There is some information about your project based on the project description. Those were all provided by the faculty mentors. So that's a good place to start to read that. In addition, we are having the faculty mentor orientation tomorrow, and we will definitely ask all of the faculty mentors to reach out to you if they haven't done so already after our workshop tomorrow. But you should feel free to reach out to them as well. And you could just say, thank you so much for being my faculty mentor for the RIO program. I'm excited to be working on blank project with you. Let me know what is the best way for us to connect, something like that. Okay, so a very short email just to introduce yourself. And yeah, so if you haven't met with your faculty mentor, it's not late. We're just starting the program, you're fine, but it is a good idea to reach out to them.
Lauren, just to check, this information could be found in their email, right? Invitation to the orientation, like who they were paired with.
Yes, I included who you were paired with in that email. We still have the project descriptions up on the website if you needed to find any more information about your project. That is under the website, and then it's 2021-2022 program. Thank you for putting that link in the chat. All right, do we have any other questions before we go into our icebreaker? All right, so I'm going to stop the recording now since we've talked about all the information, and we're just going to be doing the icebreaker.